What's up, everybody? It's your boy True Element 78 in the building with
The new Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer, even though I've never worked for that company, the natural Chris Black.
and you're tuned into Saturday Night SlamCasters. Once again, for those of you who weren't tuned in on our latest episode or latest podcast episode, Xavier Mustafa has been retired by True Element, which is and I didn't even have to lift a finger to do it. All I had to do was snap my fingers and watch them disintegrate into dust. So, with that being said,
Excuse me, sir. First of all, I am the reigning and defending Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer. I am unsnappable. And unlike the people in King's Landing right now, I'm not dead. I'm right here. Right here returning on the podcast.
are you coming to us live from the quantum realm?
Nope, I'm in the real world, baby, all day.
Damn, I gotta use more
Unsnappable.
dynamite next time. Sean Priest, you didn't get the job done. Me and you got to talk about this. So I guess Xavier Mustafa is going to be joining us tonight. And we are here to give you guys our Money in the Bank predictions. A show that has lost all meaning and purpose in WWE. But the Savior is on the way. And that's happening the weekend following Money in the Bank, which is AEW, premiering on TNT this fall. But we'll get into that on our podcast episode next week, where we also give you guys a preview of the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. But like I said, today we're here to give you guys our Money in the Bank predictions. There's 11 matches on the card. This shouldn't take too long. We're not going to really get into Raw and SmackDown from this past week because there wasn't much to discuss. Those felt more like the kickoff show to the kickoff show that's going to be happening before Money in the Bank. It was a bunch of clips and highlights. The highlight of Monday Night Raw, I'll just mention it right now, and we can talk about it if we want to, was the Bray Wyatt reveal of this more demonic clown character that he's going to be playing. Killer Clowns from Outer Space or something like that. A lot of people were making memes talking about Slipknot and all those different types of things. I thought it was an awesome reveal. We'll see what happens on his debut down to the ring. What you guys think about that? You think, and do you think he's gonna come into play anywhere on Money in the Bank's card?
I like the,
Go ahead.
I like the gimmick, but I think it's going to be difficult to institute that into a program. Is he going to do like the Mr. Rogers, like the kind of like, is he going to do the reverse Finn Balor, where he's the Mr. Rogers gimmick, but then he can turn into the dark side when he needs it? Is it going to be like a reverse of the Finn Balor? I just can't. I guess I don't have that type of booking imagination. I love the character. I just don't see how they're going to use it.
To me, I don't know. WWE has been failing on executing certain things lately, so the proof is going to be in the pudding on this one.
Yeah, and also it's funny, like Bray Wyatt, they did this such an extreme with his character, but then you also have them doing the why can't I? His name is escaping me right now, but you got Mojo Rawley cutting promos kind of similar in the vein, and now him wearing his little face paint down to the ring that's supposed to represent shattered glass all over his face. And then you have why am I slipping on his name? Black.
Aleister Black.
Yeah, Aleister Black doing his promos talking about you don't know who he is and he can tap into that dark side. You don't want to see that dark side and all of those different types of things. So you got a bunch of people cutting promos in a similar vein to Bray Wyatt, except for, his was a little bit more animated, and then he transforms into this darker character. So it's going to be very interesting.
So do you think he's building a stable with all these broken characters?
I don't even know what show he's on because they're playing his promos on both Raw and SmackDown. We don't even know what show he's actually a part of.
Yeah, because Mojo Rawleys needs something. He's dead. It's horrible with him, but anyway.
And if I was WWE with everything that's going on with Lars Sullivan and this whole, which I think is a work gimmick where he's been fined $100,000 for racist and homophobic comments that he made back in 2008 to 2013 or 2012. If all of that is actually real and it's not a work and they want to punish him, which it doesn't seem like they're going to try to bury him, Bray Wyatt, I think, would be a great first opponent for Lars Sullivan, but Bray would have to win. So it depends on where they want to take Lars Sullivan. That would be a good program, I think.
So it makes no sense about the Lars Sullivan thing. Is how do you find somebody for doing something before they work for you? It's like the NFL saying, you know, Aaron Rodgers, you did this back in 2012. We're gonna fine you $500,000. What?
And
no, that's
the
just them.
sensitivity training.
Yeah, that's just them being proactive in case someone says, like their sponsors, like, "Hey, do you see this news about this guy?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we took care of it already. We fined him. You know, we took him to sense." They're doing this to cover their own ass. And like, true, I think this is a war. This is just a work. There's no way in hell they fined him without $100,000. If they did prove it, I'd like to see the receipts. I think that's an absolute work. I would have accepted 10,000. Hell, I would have accepted 25,000, maybe even 50. But 100,000, nope.
Yeah, I remember when Charlotte beat up the referees or whatever, and they did that whole fine. What was it, like $300,000? Stephanie said they fined.
Yeah. It's like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're just inflated the number. If that's true, then I guess that Big John Studd was really going to pay out $10,000 for the Body Slam Challenge. Right?
Yeah, but like I said, we're here to really discuss Money in the Bank. 11 matches on the card, so let's get right into it. We got the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of Daniel Bryan and Rowan taking on the Usos. And I guess this isn't for the tag team titles. It's just a match. Yeah, it's just a match because the Usos are on Raw. So,
well, you know, with the wild card rules and the shakeup and all the other stuff, you know, who knows? Vince McMahon doesn't know. Hell, you don't know.
But
see, the fact that it's non-title, I would have to go with the Usos. But then that doesn't make any sense because then why would you have your brand new tag champs lose to guys that are not even on the same show?
Yeah, I think that Daniel Bryan and Rowan are going to win. They need momentum right now. Daniel Bryan's been on this losing streak to Kofi Kingston. And yeah, he needs a win. The Usos don't need to win.
I agree. I'm going with Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan.
I'm gonna go to Usos.
Well, they are the best tag team in the world right now. Best
they
in
are.
the world. Okay, so then next we have the Cruiserweight champion Tony Nese taking on Arya Daivari. And it doesn't say that this is a title match either.
I think it's Tony Nese's first title defense.
Yeah, it has to be. They have things listed weirdly. So that SmackDown tag team match may be for the titles. But I still don't see the Usos winning, especially since with this whole superstar shakeup thing, they don't want to separate couples. And with Naomi being on Raw, the Usos couldn't possibly win the SmackDown tag team titles and go to SmackDown unless Jimmy or Jay, whoever's married to Naomi, just wants to get away from her. They're tired of feeling the glow.
I like Arya Daivari. He's one of the local guys that used to work around the area, but I don't think it's his time. And plus, I think it's very early in Tony Nese's title reign for him to be losing the belt. So I'm going to go with Tony Nese.
I kind of want to go with Arya Daivari on this one just because it's never really a good, I don't want to say good thing. It's really not a good position for our babyface to have a championship. So if Tony Nese were to lose it to Arya Daivari and put it on that heel and have that chase, I think it's a way better story than anything else they would do. However, this is the WWE. So I guess I would have to go with what they would do, and they will probably keep it on Tony Nese. So my pick will be Tony Nese.
My pick is going to be Tony Nese. Just like he needs a strong title defense, especially coming off of Buddy Murphy's dominant reign. For Tony Nese to come in and just lose it to Arya Daivari would make absolutely no sense, and it'd be another title on the WWE roster that's been devalued for him to just lose it so quickly. And I'd have just confirmed that the Daniel Bryan and Rowan taking on Usos is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So
they definitely not winning. They're not definitely not losing then.
Yep, and I'm switching to Daniel Bryan and going.
Um, let's see here. Then we have the United States Championship on the line. Samoa Joe is your champion, taking on Rey Mysterio.
Samoa Joe for the win.
I really, really want Joe to win, and I'll be so pissed if Rey Mysterio gets the victory. I'm going for Joe.
I'm going with Rey. I want Joe to win, but just history, and they also did one of the lamest promo segments with Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio's son, where I thought that he was gonna beat his ass like Undertaker did on Flair in the shower, but he just gave him a good talking to, a good tongue lashing, if you will.
Oh, come on. You didn't like the I'm not through talking.
He just scolded him. Dominique should have been choked out.
I thought he was gonna lay hands on him.
Yeah,
That or he should have at least did him like he did Paul Heyman, like get him in a corner and start whispering to him.
Yeah, so I was very disappointed by that. It made Joe look kind of soft. Like he's softening up or whatever. So and I feel like they brought Rey back, and Rey hasn't been doing much. He needs something to do. So to put the title on him and let Samoa Joe then choke out his son or something, I don't know.
Man, I would hate to see Rey Mysterio winning, but I also heard that that's one title he hasn't gotten. So there's that.
All right.
But does he need a title? Does Rey Mysterio need a title? No.
Should just have to. That's not a good argument.
I don't think we're going to see Rey Mysterio with the title in any time during his return.
I'm so for that.
Next, we have The Miz taking on Shane McMahon inside of a steel cage.
Oh, okay.
Just something for Shane to jump off of.
This one's kind of rough for me because I want Miz to win. But Miz does not actually need to win this match.
He does.
Shane, he's getting a lot of heat, but it's not bad heat, it's good heat. So I got in my notes, Shane could win by some fuckery. So I think Shane could win this match and still keep his heat. If Miz wins, this feud might need to continue.
I'm over Shane McMahon in every way, shape, or form. I just feel like every time he comes on screen, I'm like, why are you here? They're really trying to force it and make it seem like he's the next Vince McMahon. I'm sorry. Like I said before, he's not the next Vince McMahon. Stephanie is way better in that role than Shane is. Shane is a baby face. Come on now.
No, I take Shane as being the guy that just thinks, not that he's trying to be like a Vince McMahon, he thinks that he's actually tough. That's what I'm getting. He actually thinks that he can hang with these people. Like he can hang with real wrestlers, and that's hilarious because he's the boss's son, and you're always going to be looked at as the boss's son. So it's just one of those. He thinks he's a tough guy, but he's not.
Let's see if they would do that gimmick. All right, that'd be a whole lot better. But they don't even do that gimmick. They let him go toe to toe with AJ Styles to open up WrestleMania one year, and I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no way Shane McMahon should hang 2 seconds in the match with AJ Styles. In real life, he wouldn't last 2 seconds in the ring with AJ Styles. But they told this story that for 20 minutes he can hang in there with AJ Styles. Get the fuck out of here. That's why I don't buy this whole program. Like the Miz should just tear dude up and it should be done with. So I'm going for the Miz on this one.
I'm thinking the Miz is going to be whooping his ass, but again, Shane, he's got a lot of alliance with a lot of people. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Elias, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin. I mean, he's got a whole bunch of people that can help him out.
It's looking like he's starting a new corporation.
Oh,
and knowing WWE, they would call it the new corporation. That's how creative they are. I think it's still cage match just so Shane has something tall to jump off of, and I could see Shane McMahon doing a coast to coast from the top of the cage.
Just okay. think about this. I think I'm actually going to have to change my answer because originally I'm thinking The Miz, but now I'm thinking, what's next for The Miz? What's next for Shane? It looks like Shane's already messing with Roman Reigns, so I don't think he can lose to The Miz. I think he beats The Miz. Feud with The Miz is over with. Miz goes back to Raw or whatever, and Shane deals with Roman Reigns.
I actually think Shane wins and takes out The Miz, so Miz can actually be written off of television to go spend time with his family, since Maurice is supposed to be dropping that second child any day now.
Right. Yeah, I'm going for Shane. I'm going with Shane.
So I'm gonna go with Shane. I think
if you're waiting on me, I'd already picked The Miz.
Yeah, I know you did. I had to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, he did pick. Yeah, Shane. I'm going with Shane McMahon. Yeah, I'm going with Shane by some fuckery. Right. Then the match that nobody asked for, and I honestly forgot was even a part of the show. The big dog Roman Reigns taking on the drifter Elias.
Okay, this goes just like the Shane McMahon match. Elias got a lot of people that he can help him out. So I think that Elias should win. Roman Reigns does not need a win. This is the problem with Roman Reigns. You have to have a good villain to have a really good babyface. The problem is Roman Reigns has to fall before he can rise. If Batman beat Bane in The Dark Knight Rises the first time they met, then what are you looking forward to at the climax of that movie? Nothing. Roman Reigns has to get beat down before he can rise up for the victory. So I don't know, maybe Shane and his group starts beating down Roman for a while so he can actually get some sympathy from the crowd and maybe he'll get over. I think Elias should win. But I'm picking Roman Reigns because WWE doesn't know what they're doing.
This one's rough for me because it's like, you know what? They finally got Elias like out of the gimmick every week and actually doing something, and then they put him in the ring with Roman Reigns to get ate up probably. So like, I would want Elias to come out on top on this and actually give that man some legit backing, like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of what they're gonna do is they're gonna have him lose to Roman Reigns, and then once they lose to Roman Reigns, they're gonna come back on Raw and they're gonna wrestle again. And Roman Reigns is gonna go over. That's gonna be the same thing for the next 2 weeks. Like, actually put some steam behind some of the younger guys. Guys, come on now. I'm going for Elias on this one, just because that's what I want. It's not gonna happen, but that's what I want.
Can't be the next John Cena without a golden shovel.
Dude.
It's
just like...
And bury the deserving talent. Elias has done nothing since really coming to the main roster. Elias' longest feud on the main roster, he's been on the main roster for a year and a half now. His longest feud has been with Jeff Jarrett.
He's been on the main roster longer than that. But, I mean, one of his greatest matches was with John Cena.
Yeah, and I think it's also his longest match that he's had on the main roster. So I'm going with Elias should win if they want to get Roman Reigns over as a babyface. But it's WWE, so Roman Reigns is probably going to win. So I'm picking Roman Reigns. Then we have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which features Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Natalya, Dana Brooke, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, and Carmella. Who do you guys see taking this? We'll start with Xavier and Mustafa.
I know this is a long shot, but I'm going to go with Bayley. Just because I think Bayley is probably the one who people are going to think is less likely to win and who could gain the most from winning. So that's what I'm going with. Going with Bayley.
And if you saw me, I gave you the the goal. Yes, I'm also agreeing. It's Bailey. I think it's Bailey, and I think the caveat to that, I think Bailey's turning heel when she gets that briefcase. She's ripe for a heel turn. Bailey, now's the time for a dark Bailey. Man,
I think that Bailey does need a refreshing of her character. A heel turn could do that, but I also see this taking place before one of Becky Lynch's title defenses, which I think that Charlotte and Becky is going to happen first, and then she's going to face Lacey Evans. And I could actually see them pulling the trigger, and this is going into my prediction for later in the night. I could see Lacey Evans actually beating Becky Lynch for the title, and Bailey cashing in and taking that belt right off her hands.
Okay, so I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking that Becky beats Lacey Evans in the first match. Everyone thinks she's going to lose to Charlotte in the second match because Charlotte's on SmackDown and blah, blah, blah. You know, Andrade, they want to keep her happy, yada, yada, yada. But I think that Becky's going to go over Charlotte, and she's going to be so beat down. And it's such a heel thing to do, to cash in when your opponent has been beaten down. I think Bailey's going to come out, and I think Bailey's going to take it. And because Bailey's on SmackDown, that's going to have Becky Lynch go more towards Raw, and she's going to get away from the Becky two belts thing.
Well, only reason, and I guess now we're kind of mashing up our predictions, but of course it's Money in the Bank, so that's got to happen a little bit. My reasoning would be that the Charlotte-Becky match happens, Becky wins to keep her dominance over Charlotte continuing. The Lacey Evans match happens, and because Becky's so expended from that Charlotte match, she loses to Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans wins, Bailey comes down, cashes in, wins that title, and then that sets up on Raw that Becky comes out and says, hey, congratulations on, because they wanted, remember, originally Becky was supposed to be the heel, and she just got put over by the fans, and they had no choice but to turn her. She's been acting a little bit more heelish and bratty on social media now. I could see her coming out congratulating Bailey and saying, well, now you know you have to give me the title shot for that belt, and her beating down Bailey to try to get some sympathy on Bailey, and leading to a match between those two, and Bailey actually beating Becky and going over like that to start building her character back up. So that's where I see that actually going. They got to do something to keep Bailey happy. Like, we've heard all the rumors and stories about the tag belts being taken off of them. We still haven't seen Sasha Banks. Bailey hasn't been doing much, so to put a title on her could legitimize her again, like quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I get that the roster is kind of chaotic right now. We really don't know, like, legitimately where people are. That would require what you're saying. It would require a lot of shifting around of pieces. Like, Bailey is a SmackDown person now, so if Bailey wins Money in the Bank and then cashes in during the Raw Women's Title match and wins the Raw Women's Title, that means she's jumping back to Raw.
But she doesn't have any she's not dating anybody on SmackDown, so there's no issue there.
I guess. I don't know.
Lacey Evans would probably end up going over to SmackDown then.
I don't care how beat down Becky Lynch is. I don't see Lacey Evans literally beating Becky Lynch in her second match.
Well, look at it like this. The rumor is that they want Becky, Lacey, and Charlotte to be the faces of the company. So if Becky loses the Raw title, that sends her over to SmackDown. If Bailey is a SmackDown star right now and she wins the Raw title, that sends Lacey Evans over to SmackDown. So Becky still has the SmackDown title, and she's going to be on SmackDown with Charlotte and Lacey Evans. So that allows them to kind of continue that feud. But with this whole wild card thing, it gives Becky Lynch the opportunity to appear back over on Raw to challenge Bailey for the Raw Championship again in a rematch type situation. So for the Money in the Bank ladder match, it sounds like we're all in agreement with Bayley going over, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have
We
the
can agree.
men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which features Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Finn Balor, Ali, Andrade, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. I'm surprised they haven't made Sami Zayn just drop either the Sami or the Zayn. If they made Sami Zayn drop one part of his name, would you want to just call him Zayn or would you want to call him Sammy?
I like to call him Generico.
Chris Generico.
So, who are we picking for the men's Money in the Bank?
I got Drew McIntyre.
A big part of me think is going to be Corbin. A little bit of me thinks is going to be Drew McIntyre. But a bigger part of me think it might be Cien Almas. Only reason why I think it'll be him is because I can see them putting it on him and kind of holding it over everybody's head while the main program goes on with Seth and Corbin or Seth and Drew McIntyre. Because generally, whoever wins the Money in the Bank usually isn't one of the big players, and they hold on to it for a couple of months and then slide their way in. So I think from that standpoint, it makes me feel like I think it should go to Andreas CM Almas. That's my pick.
I would like to see, my pick is actually going to be Andrade. And what I would like to actually see happen, because I feel Drew McIntyre is above winning it. He doesn't need it to get a title shot. Baron Corbin is going into this match with so much momentum and so many victories under his belt that he should be in line for a title shot, so he doesn't need the briefcase, and he's already had it anyway. Finn Balor's not doing anything with his Intercontinental Championship, but he doesn't need it because he already has a belt. Ricochet doesn't need it yet. It's too early for him. Sami Zayn is kind of floating around, but I don't see to put the briefcase on him would be a waste because I don't see him winning any gold yet. And Randy Orton is a part-timer, and so it would make no sense to put it on him. I would like to see Andrade win, but I would like to see Andrade win in the same way Carmella won the first women's Money in the Bank match. Zelina Vega is the one who climbs the ladder and tosses the briefcase down to Andrade.
I'm thinking the Money in the Bank match.
Money in the Bank.
We know what he's
going
doing.
on at the
He's off the show tonight. He just got
going on
paid.
at the Chris Black household.
Chris Black be making it rain on his wife. And I don't know if it's golden showers or green dollar bills.
Hey. Anyway, sorry, Freudian slip. If Sami Zayn wins, he would not win in the cash-in. I think that this year the Money in the Bank winner has to go over. I think, and the rumors are they're gonna build this person up. And now that I've said that, Baron Corbin will probably make the most sense, but Drew McIntyre, I heard that they kind of held back his push when Brock Lesnar came back during the Saudi show and won the title before. So I think Drew McIntyre, again, he's always been Vince McMahon's boy back in the day. I think Drew McIntyre is set to win this. And he's going to cash in and win.
And that's your final answer?
Yep. Drew McIntyre. More like wishful thinking, but I mean that's I've been high on Drew McIntyre since he's been back, so it's his time. He should not have lost against it would have been even better going into this match if he had not lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Twice actually. He lost on
Dude,
Raw as well.
Man. They be doing him so bogus.
Yeah, so 2 Andrades and a Drew McIntyre for the men's Money in the Bank, correct?
Yeah.
You picked Andrade, right?
Yep.
All right. Then we kind of already mentioned this: the SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair. I think we all.
Okay, so my prediction was kind of fantasy booking. In reality, I think Charlotte's gonna just beat Becky Lynch. I think that she's gonna have the second match. I don't think it's gonna be first. I think Charlotte's gonna wrestle Becky second, and I think Charlotte's gonna get the best of her.
I, uh, I don't care who wins this match. I'm so over these two. Like, I went to a house show and they wrestled each other, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of you two. There's so many other women that y'all could be wrestling, and y'all wrestling each other again. Just you know what? I don't care who wins, but you know who loses? Everybody. Everybody loses in this match. So go ahead, give it to Charlotte. Let her be the 19th time SmackDown Women's Champion, and let's move on with our lives.
I'm still picking Becky Lynch, and I believe this match is going to happen before the Lacey Evans Becky Lynch match. Speaking of which, now we have the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch taking on Lacey Evans. You already heard my prediction. I picked Lacey Evans to defeat Becky Lynch.
I'm actually looking forward to this match because it's two different people. Oh my God. Wow, they're actually going to put somebody else over but the big three. But anyway, I don't know about Lacey Evans winning, though. I keep going back and forth with it. And, some of the things that you said earlier about Lacey Evans, maybe this being a little too early for her. But I don't know. She's fairly entertaining. I like her promos. I like the gimmick. I know this is going against my girl Becky, but Becky been kind of boring the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to go with Lacey Evans.
And actually, before Chris Black gives his prediction, I'm actually going to throw this in there. Lacey Evans doesn't actually have to win. Seth Rollins already proved that you can cash in the middle of the match. So Bayley could become the ultimate opportunist here. And would it necessarily be a heel turn? Or would it just be her taking that opportunity by the horns to get some gold around her waist? And now that I mentioned that, I actually don't think that Lacey Evans has to win. I think that Bayley will insert herself into this match and actually probably pin Lacey Evans and win the belt from Becky Lynch.
You know what? I think we have a Xavier and Mustafa moment of booking right here that just came out of my mind when you said that. So I'm going to go on the record to say, now I've been right about this before, the Royal Rumble. If they open up with the women's Money in the Bank, that will definitely happen if Bayley goes over. I'll totally see that happening. Bayley weasels her way into becoming the Raw Women's Champion.
And then that may also be the way to get Sasha back on television. All this.
No, we okay. We good. We good.
You ain't feeling Sasha.
I'm not feeling none of Sasha. Nope. We good. We good.
Chris Black, who you got? We've offered up a bunch of different scenarios now. Does your opinion change?
I'm staying with Becky Lynch.
The man who's dating the architect. Next up, we got the WWE Championship being defended by Kofi Kingston against Kevin Owens.
Sadly, this match could go either way. I could see Kevin Owens going over, but I think it'd be too soon for Kofi Kingston. But then again, he's kind of stale, not interesting. He got the belt, and it's like, okay, now what? I'm not excited about him coming out anymore. And I want to be, but they booked him so poorly as champ. I'm not excited. And I think they're going to hit the panic button like they always do when a champ isn't over right away, or as they were before they got the title. And they might hit the panic button and either Kevin Owens goes over or there's some kind of Money in the Bank fuckery going on.
But you know what? Here's the thing about that. Like, they can, I see them like as they've done in history. It'd be like, all the ratings are dropped. It must be you. But I mean, they'll hit the panic button on Kofi Kingston, but they won't hit it on Seth Rollins. I mean, I'm not trying to pull the race card out there, but I'm just saying
or Becky
they'll probably.
Lynch. Remember, WrestleMania, they gave us everything that everybody wanted, and the ratings are falling.
I get it, but it's just because there was no follow up.
Yeah, and the whole Kofi Kingston thing is the difference there is that he won the title and nothing changed. He is the exact same character that he was. He hasn't gotten more serious or anything like that. At least when Jinder Mahal won the belt, there was a transitional period there where he started every week he came out, there was something new added to his character.
They're missing out on a golden opportunity. So right now, Kofi Kingston, Big E is out on injury. Xavier Woods almost got completely taken out by Kevin Owens because Kofi Kingston let his guard down. Do you think that Kofi should be serious right now? Do you think he should be running out, throwing pancakes and shaking his booty? No.
Now,
right, I was highly offended that he's supposed to be upset with Kevin Owens, but yet he come out with this big, huge tray of pancakes and skip it to the ring. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be mad at KO that he destroyed y'all last week? Like, well,
now here's what I would like to see as far as fantasy booking. Fantasy booking for me would be this match is happening, it's going really well, lights go out, Bray Wyatt appears. Because remember, Bray Wyatt's new character was all about positivity originally, and then he transitioned back into that darker character. What if he comes in there and that what the heck is what the hell is the name of the spirit? The little witch lady?
Abigail?
Abby the witch. Like somehow he cast some type of spell over Kofi that changes him. Because remember I said he should be having more of an attitude. His world has basically been collapsing around him ever since he won that championship. It should be hard for him to maintain this sense of positivity, and so he should start pushing Xavier Woods and Xavier Woods away and different things like that. Being like, man, ever since I won this, nothing's been going right. Big E is hurt. You're getting beat up every week. I just need space. I don't want to see you get hurt anymore and stuff like that. And in this weakened state, Bray Wyatt could take control of Kofi Kingston. Almost like the Randy Orton thing that they did.
Right. It's like WWE doesn't understand that a character needs to go through when there's some kind of change, when he gets something, the character needs to go through some kind of change so there can be a story arc, so there can be some character growth. Otherwise, the character is just stale. You got all these high-priced writers.
Yeah, and it's also stale because instead of commentary putting him over, they just keep showing the same promo videos and packages of what happened in WrestleMania. They haven't been showing his struggles over the past 11 years. They're making it seem like they're telling you that it's been 11 years, but they're only showing you the past 4 months of Kofi Kingston's career leading into WrestleMania and him actually winning the title. So all around, WWE's commentary has been lacking. Even when they debuted Bray Wyatt's new character on Raw, they completely no-sold it by this big event happened, and then they're like, well, moving on, let's talk about Becky Lynch taking on Lacey Evans at Money in the Bank. It wasn't what the hell did we just see? That is completely disturbed. They didn't put it over at all. It's almost as bad. It's almost as bad oh, go ahead.
I saw that segment. I saw what you're talking about, and I get it. Okay, it was weird. So maybe their reaction is we don't even know how to talk about this, so we're gonna move on. But you can still bring it back up later instead of bringing up stupid, silly stuff that doesn't matter.
They are showing us Becky Lynch's rise to the title, Becky Lynch's clashes with Charlotte, Becky Lynch's clashes with Lacey Evans, Seth Rollins. They're going back in the archives and getting old NWA footage of Seth Rollins taking on AJ Styles back in 2007. But Bray Wyatt's segment only gets one replay and no explanation on commentary. So I don't know. We're getting off track, talking about that character, but we got there when I brought with me bringing up fantasy booking, and I would like to see Bray Wyatt get involved somehow in this Kofi Kingston thing and inserting himself into the main event scene over there on SmackDown.
I actually think he would be a better fit over there on SmackDown than if they try to do anything with him on the Raw.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston and a Bray Wyatt kind of program would be really, really good right about now. But getting back into Kofi Kingston and why he's just not getting over, it's just like right now they're showing that they have no confidence in their champ. And you can always tell they have no confidence because when they make a guy a champ and then he's not the highlight of the show or he's not the focus of the show, you can tell that they really have no confidence in that champion.
Well, none of the champions are the focus of the shows. Like not even Seth Rollins over there is the focus of Raw. Baron Corbin is more of the focus on Raw than Seth Rollins is. Freaking Drew McIntyre is more of a focus over there on Raw.
Well, again, same deal. They have no confidence in their champs unless their champion is one of their one or two hand-picked guys who they want to be on top or they want to be the focus, like Roman Reigns, like I can't even say Brock Lesnar because it's not like he was there enough to be highlighted, but Roman Reigns.
and I don't know. I like Kofi did a couple of little tag team matches, but to me, him having that title defense on SmackDown against actually it was the title defense over there on Raw against Daniel Bryan, like that was a strong title defense. Like I think that was stronger than any of the title defenses that they actually had Jinder Mahal do, mainly because he won clean. Like there was no shenanigans, there was no gimmick to the match or anything like that. It was just a straight up strong title defense. So I thought that was really good. And then on SmackDown, they had the triple threat match that he also won against Sami Zayn and AJ Styles for his title, where he won. And like, I didn't necessarily like that he took 3 blue thunder bombs and kicked out all 3 and then hit the Trouble in Paradise and won, but it was still a strong title defense for him. So I don't think he's been booked bad as a champion. I think he's been carrying himself bad as a bad champion.
But I think that's the reason why Kevin Owens has a good chance of winning, because it's almost as if they gave Kofi Kingston 2 really strong title defenses in a row, because when they take this title off of him, they don't want people to say like, oh man, he didn't even have a chance to defend his title. No, he defended it 2 days in a row, you know what I'm saying, before he had to drop it.
Yeah, but I can see it going either way. Like fantasy booking, no matter what, I would love to see Bray Wyatt get inserted into this, whether that's against Kofi Kingston or it's against Kevin Owens. A Kevin Owens Bray Wyatt feud could be awesome, and a Bray Wyatt Kofi Kingston feud could also be awesome, especially if they use the past history of Xavier Woods already being scared of Bray Wyatt and all of that type of stuff, that they bring all that back up, and now this is a darker version of that Bray Wyatt character. Like I think that they could play into that. And again, it doesn't even have to be that he gets involved in Kofi's head. Maybe this new darker Bray Wyatt, they could actually follow up on the storyline of Xavier Woods being petrified of Bray Wyatt and him taking control of Xavier Woods to cost Kofi Kingston the title or something like that, and get it on Bray Wyatt. I really do think that Bray Wyatt is going to get another title run with this new character. I think
all I say about that is yowie wowie.
So I'm picking Kofi Kingston to win against Kevin Owens, because I don't think think this is the blow off.
Yeah, if I have to pick one person, I guess I will go with Kofi. I don't think they should take off the title. Not yet.
And that's also why I think Becky loses the belt and Kofi retains his belt. And then we get to the Seth Rollins taking on AJ Styles. I'm just going to throw my prediction out there right away. Seth Rollins ain't losing that Universal Championship.
Say that again?
Nope.
Seth Rollins ain't losing that WWE Universal Championship.
Even though, you know what, I wouldn't mind him losing it to AJ Styles. But
I wouldn't either, but AJ is AJ is winding down his career. I don't care what anybody says.
No, he just resigned.
Yeah, he just resigned. Just because he
Ain't no
resigned,
winding down.
just because he resigned, don't mean that he gonna be wrestling every single night
Yeah,
either.
but you know what? Seth just beat Brock. Like he just beat him. There's no way. There's no way AJ Styles is taking that title off of Seth yet. Plus, this remember Vince McMahon is good with symbolism. This is the Indies AJ Styles going up against. Yeah, Seth Rollins started in the Indies, but he's kind of a WWE guy in Vince's eyes. So this is WWE guy versus indie guy, and just like WWE guy versus WCW guy, they got to put the WWE guy over. I think Seth Rollins is going over. He just beat Brock. There's no way he should be losing anything right now. I think this will be the match tonight, and I think this is going to be Vince McMahon's last, take that AEW, but one match out of 11 isn't going to do that.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely on WWE. I don't care what anybody says now with AEW making their announcement, Double or Nothing happening the following weekend, and I don't care what anybody has to say. That Double or Nothing card looks fire.
Right. T-shirt company, my ass.
Yeah, that card looks fire. Like everything from the Lucha Brothers match to finally getting a real payoff to Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes storyline from WWE, seeing the brothers take on each other, to the Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho match and everything. Even their Casino Royale looks and sounds awesome. Like, I don't know if you guys looked at the rules for that match, but I think that sounds awesome.
Here's my thing about this whole AEW thing. And I guess I really need to do some research to figure this out on my own, but so WCW all the way into the AOL Time Warner merger was on that channel. When the AOL Time Warner merger happened, that's when the wheels started to fall off the company because of regulations and stuff that they started to hand down. They didn't really care for wrestling, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. My concern with this, and I know this is probably not the appropriate time to talk about it, we'll probably go into detail on the regular podcast, but what's changed now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds great, but if they go into it and they run into the same problems that WCW had with, marketing to a different demographic than the WWE.
What's changed now is that WCW, the tides had already changed. They were already losing and hemorrhaging money. Mismanagement, too many chefs in the kitchen behind the scenes to where it was like there's no saving this sinking ship necessarily. It would have cost them so much money to turn it around, because not only was the show on that channel, that promotion was owned by that by the same company that ran the channel. So it's like, all right, we're bleeding money. Like, we can't. It's hard for us to get quality advertisers. We're paying out all these huge don't forget how big those contracts were that the talent had in WCW. It's the reason WWE, when they bought WCW, they're like, we're not paying you that. Like, we'll wait.
But it all became a problem around the same time, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was, a year they were doing awful and then the AOL merger happened. No, all that happened kind of at the same exact time.
Yeah, but also look at this. But just think about what I just said, though. It was being payrolled by Time Warner, who got bought by AOL, which means that now AOL was having to pay out this money, plus struggling to get advertisers for this sinking ship, which was WCW. And so they're like, you know what? AOL was already not doing so hot. Turner also wasn't really doing too hot. I think that's also, and so AEW is a completely different thing than WCW, because Time Warner, AOL, whatever, Turner, they're not financing it. This is being financed by somebody else. Also, live sports, live events now are bigger money for a lot of these companies than a lot of other things, especially if you can make it must-see television. So, don't know what's all in the contract for this television show, but I'm sure it's also, if they're not getting the ratings that they need to hit, the margins that they need to hit, they can still get canceled. But
well, Let's see when they have their first couple of nitros, and see if we get penis druids or if we don't get penis druids. We If we get penis druids, then we know, hey, they let them do whatever they want to do, which will be good. If we don't see penis druids, then we're going to be like, all right, they're probably censoring these guys a little bit. And we hope that they don't censor them too much, because then they'll be in the same downward spiral as WCW.
So that's one thing I don't see happening. I don't see them being as censored as WWE, as sanitized. I ain't going to say censored. I'm going to say sanitized as WWE is. Because even like when you look at like Lucha Underground, which was also on a cable network, that wasn't watered down. Impact really wasn't even watered down, and Impact is doing amazing things right now. But these are all things we'll get into on our main show next week when that drops. You guys got anything else you want to throw out there? Any church announcements you might want to put out there tonight?
Let's see. So we got Money in the Trash on Sunday. Legacy Pro Wrestling returns to X-Ray Arcade on July. On June 21st, that's the day after a very important day in the year of 2019. That will be my birthday. So you can come out and celebrate with the X-Men, Xavier, Mustafa at X-Ray Arcade, located in Cudahy. So come check us out.
I don't have any church announcements. Nothing that I can think of. I probably have some for next week, though.
Oh, I think actually, you know what? I did miss one match on the card, and that was the Bukaki Warrior. I mean, the Asuka and Kairi Sane taking on the
Is that
Iconics.
official?
Yes, for the tag team championships. That's official.
Take it away from the Iconics. They've done
Keep
nothing
it.
with them.
Keep it on the Iconics.
What?
For the Heat.
Yep.
But it will also make Paige look foolish. So I think that the Iconics are definitely
I'm okay with that.
done with those titles.
I'm okay with Paige looking foolish.
But yeah, they're calling Asuka and Kairi Sane the Kabuki Warriors now. So we got the Viking Experience, which was changed to the Viking Raiders, and now we have the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh my God. They're paying these people all this money for this shit.
These are the names that Xavier Mustafa pitched to some of his talent in Legacy Pro. I just want everybody to know that.
That is a lie.
I threw it in the trash, and I guess Vince McMahon found it when he was dumpster diving or something.
They changed our name from the Urban Horseman to the Urban Experience.
It would be something else. The chocolate experience. Actually, they would call you guys Hershey Falls. That's
Oh my God.
But
That's ridiculous.
so I'm saying the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane are taking those women tag team championships from the Iconics.
I think they're taking them. I don't understand why Paige is their spokesperson. I don't even know if she's their manager. But that's just a very odd.
She's their advocate.
I guess.
Just because they need something for Paige to do.
Paige looks amazing right now. I throw that out there. Call me, girl. We know you down with the brown.
Right?
Turn that frown right up. I mean, yeah,
You don't
turn
need a
that frown
tag
right
team
upside
partner
down.
for that.
This is a PG show, guys.
13. But yeah, so you got your church announcement. Legacy Pro returning to the X-Ray Arcade. You said June 21st.
June 21st.
June 21st. You should get your tickets. I'll even throw a link in the description for you guys that are in the Milwaukee area that are interested in attending the show. The Natural Chris Black had no church announcements for you guys. We would like to thank all you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing all of our content. Be sure to continue to do that for us. We want to continue to grow the channel. Be sure to hit that bell notification down there on the YouTube channel. We got a new podcast episode coming out to you guys next Saturday which is going to be the 25th, which is also the same day as Double or Nothing. We'll probably put together a Double or Nothing predictions for you. I don't know if we're going to drop that on YouTube or if it'll just be a part of our regular podcast episode, but just be sure to follow us everywhere that we are. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can follow Chris Black. You guys can go ahead and throw out your Twitter handles.
You can find me at The Natural Chris Black. That's on Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter at _natural_CB.
And you can find me at Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, so be sure to follow those guys and follow Saturday Night SlamCasters. You just search for us on Twitter, search for us on Facebook. Like I said, you found us obviously here over on the YouTube channel, and